I never thought revenge would taste like Chateau Margaux 82, sipped from a crystal goblet while the man who'd ruined my life choked on his own lies across the table. But there I was, in his skin, his voice, his goddamn everything, watching his eyes bulge as I introduced myself not as the broken shell he'd left behind, but as the wolf he'd invited to slaughter. It started with a freak accident, or so the world believed, a lab explosion at Apex Dynamics that swapped my soul with his in a blink, trapping me in the body of Victor Hale, the biotech mogul who'd framed me for embezzlement and watched me rot in Rikers for 5 years. And the hook? I didn't just escape. I became him, and the first thing I did was book this dinner at his favorite spot, Le Cirque, to mock the mockery right back, until one name dropped like a guillotine, revealing I wasn't just playing dress-up. I was the executioner. That explosion wasn't random. Victor had been testing some black market neural transfer tech, the kind that promised immortality for the elite but delivered hell for lab rats like me. Taylor Voss, that's me, or was, before the swap. Mid-30s, ex-Marine turned code monkey for his empire, loyal as a dog until I uncovered his dirty secret, siphoning billions into offshore accounts for a shadow network of politicians and CEOs, all while pinning the audits on me. He testified against me himself, his silver tongue twisting my confessions into felonies. Poor Taylor, he'd said in court, eyes gleaming like a shark's. Greed makes monsters of us all. The jury bought it. The judge slammed the gavel. And I vanished into the gray bars of maximum security, where time stretches like taffy pulled by demons. But fate, or physics, had other plans. The lab blast fused our essences mid-argument. I was confronting him about the frame job when the containment field ruptured. 1 second, I'm screaming in my jumpsuit, fists clenched. The next, I'm staring down at manicured hands and a reflection in shattered glass that isn't mine. Victor's body. His life. His power. Guards rushed in, but I played it cool, slurred some bullshit about migraines, got helicoptered to his private dock. By dawn, I was Taylor and Victor, buried deep in a penthouse fortress, piecing together the swap's permanence from encrypted files. No reversal. No escape. Just me, wielding his empire like a loaded Glock. The first month was reconnaissance. I locked myself in his Wall Street office, poring over ledgers that confirmed every betrayal. Victor hadn't just framed me. He'd erased my family ties, my sister's overdose, orchestrated to silence her whistleblowing on his pharma trials, my parents' accident on that icy Vermont road, brakes tampered by his fixers, secrets buried deeper than bodies in the Hudson. And the worst, he'd seduced my fiancée, Lena, turning her into his trophy while I wasted away. Photos on his phone showed them in our old bed, her laughing at toasts to my downfall. Betrayal so raw it tasted like battery acid. I could have gone nuclear, leaked it all, watched his world burn from afar. But no, this demanded intimacy. Personal. American as apple pie a la mode with a cyanide twist. I started small, diverted funds to ghost accounts, planted digital breadcrumbs leading back to his allies. Then, the dinner. I invited the inner circle, senators, venture capitalists, Lena on my arm like a prop. Victor's calendar was a Rolodex of egos. I slotted it in as a reconciliation toast for his health scare. They came, moths to my flame. Le Cirque buzzed that night, chandeliers dripping light like melted gold over linen and silver. I arrived in Victor's bespoke Tom Ford, Lena clinging to my elbow, her perfume a ghost of our shared past. She didn't suspect. The swap was flawless, my mannerisms tuned from months of mirror drills. Darling, she purred, you seem renewed. I smiled Victor's wolfish grin, hand on her waist, feeling the knife edge of what I'd do to her later. The table was a viper's nest. Senator Hargrove, red-faced from scotch, barking about tariffs. Elena Vasquez, tech heiress with eyes like laser sights. And Marcus Hale, Victor's estranged brother, nursing a grudge older than me. They ribbed me, him, about the explosion, calling it karma for my reckless innovations. Laughter rippled, sharp as broken glass. Then Marcus leaned in, voice oily. Heard you lost your edge, Vic. That lab rat Voss. Bet he's cursing your name from a cell, if he's not dead yet. The table erupted in chuckles. Lena squeezed my thigh under the tablecloth, her touch electric with old habits. I let it hang, fork midway to my mouth, the ribeye bleeding pink on porcelain. Taylor Voss, I said, voice steady as Victor's baritone, was a fool. Loyal to a fault. Took the fall for sins that weren't his. Pauses are weapons. I wielded it like a bayonet. Hargrove snorted. Ancient history. Vic, pour another round. But I wasn't done. The sommelier circled, decanting that Margot, its legs crawling down the glass like veins. I raised mine, catching Lena's eye, her confusion flickering like a bad signal. To betrayals, I toasted, and the ghosts they summoned. Glasses clinked, but Marcus's narrowed. Poetic tonight, brother. What's eating you? That's when I dropped it. Casual as ordering dessert. You know, I've been thinking about Taylor lately. Turns out, he's not rotting in Rikers anymore. Silence sliced the air. Forks hovered. Lena's hand froze. What do you mean? She whispered, nails digging in. I leaned forward, shadows pooling under my eyes. Victor's eyes, but mine inside. I mean, gentlemen and lady, that Taylor Voss walked free last week. Presidential pardon. And he's here tonight. Gasps rippled. Hargrove choked on his wine. Elena's phone buzzed forgotten in her lap. Marcus went pale as milk. Lena's voice cracked. Vic, what the hell? I turned to her, slow, deliberate. Introduce yourself, Taylor. And that's when I stood, shedding the Victor mask like snakeskin. No, not stood, transformed. In that beat, the truth hit. The swap wasn't total. Neural echoes lingered, a glitch in the matrix. I could flicker, let Taylor's face overlay Victor's for seconds at a time. A parlor trick from the lab's fallout. And I did it then, my features melting into the gaunt, scarred visage they'd buried. The marine buzz cut, the Rikers tattoos peeking at my cuffs. Evening, folks. Taylor Voss, at your service. Pardon my French, but fuck you all. The table exploded. Hargrove slammed his napkin down, sputtering about security. Elena bolted for the exit, heels clacking like gunfire. Marcus just stared, mouth agape, as if seeing the devil in daylight. Lena? She recoiled, hand to her throat, eyes wide with the horror of recognition. Taylor? Oh God, how? But I wasn't done. Not by a Long Island mile. This was just the appetizer. Revenge isn't a sprint. It's a marathon through hell's suburbs, lined with picket fences and buried bodies. And Victor? The real Victor was trapped in my old shell, rotting in a black site cell I'd arranged, courtesy of his own slush fund. He'd wake soon, screaming my name. But for now, the dining room spun into chaos, sirens wailing distant as NYPD rolled up, my anonymous tip, time to perfection. They came for embezzlement leads, but they'd find the web unraveling. As cuffs clicked on Hargrove and Elena was dragged out protesting her innocence, I caught Lena's gaze one last time. Tears streaked her mascara, a ruined masterpiece. Why? She begged. Because love, I said, Victor's voice cracking with my soul's venom, is the cruelest frame job of all. The fallout from that dinner hit like a nor'easter off the Atlantic, swift, brutal, and leaving wreckage in its wake. By morning, the Times splashed it across page 1. Biotech titan Victor Hale unmasked in shocking dinner debacle. Allies in custody. Pundits on CNN frothed about corporate intrigue, the 1%'s house of cards tumbling. But they missed the marrow, the soul swap symphony I'd conducted, notes of vendetta humming under the headlines. Me, Taylor Voss, puppeteering Victor's corpse from the inside, my true rank not just revealed but weaponized. It was poetic justice, American style, rags to riches, but with a body count of reputations. I retreated to Victor's, no, my, Hampton's estate, a glass and steel behemoth perched on bluffs where waves crashed like accusations. Lena followed, uninvited, pounding on the door at dawn, her BMW idling in the drive like a getaway car from guilt. I let her in, playing the haunted host, robe loose over Victor's gym-toned frame. She looked wrecked, hair a bird's nest, eyes puffy from a night of what-ifs. Taylor, she whispered, collapsing onto the leather sectional. Is it really you? How? God, Vic's been acting strange since the accident, but this. I poured her coffee, black as pitch, and sat across the void. The room smelled of sea salt and sandalwood, Victor's cologne clinging like a curse. Neural transfer, I said flatly, no sugarcoating. His pet project. We were arguing when it blew. Souls swapped. Simple physics, Lena. Quantum entanglement gone rogue. Her face crumpled, hands trembling around the mug. She'd always been the smart one, PhD in neuroethics, ironically, but this shattered her paradigms. She reached for my hand, Victor's hand, and I let her, just to feel the old spark fizzle. I thought you were gone. Vic said. He said you confessed everything. The money, the trials. I believed him. We grieved you. Grieved. The word landed like a sucker punch. I pulled back, the flicker trick itching under my skin. For a heartbeat, I let Taylor's face bleed through. Hollow cheeks, the scar from a bar fight in Fallujah. She gasped, coffee spilling. Jesus, Taylor. You're trapped. Trapped. I laughed, bitter as rye whiskey. I'm liberated, sweetheart. 5 years in a cage taught me freedom's an illusion. Victor's the one screaming in solitary right now, courtesy of a little off-books rendition to a CIA wetworks site in Virginia. My body's a perfect fit for their experiments. Disposable, deniable. Her eyes widened, horror dawning. You did that to him? Too. Us. Us. The pronoun that gutted me. Flashbacks hit. Our engagement in Central Park, her ring catching autumn light like a promise. Then Victor's whispers in her ear at the holiday gala, me oblivious in my cubicle. He took everything. I growled. Your bed. My name dragged through mud. My sister's OD? His opioids, cut with fentanyl to test tolerances. Mom and Dad's crash. His mechanic on payroll. Lies I'd uncovered in Victor's vaults. Files stamped, containment protocol. Secrets chiseled into my bones during lockdown, when dreams were my only visitors. Lena shook her head, denial a reflex. No, Vic wouldn't. He's a visionary. Apex saves lives. Visionary. The word reeked of boardroom bullshit, the kind that justified guinea pig trials on undocumented migrants. I stood, pacing to the windows where dunes rolled to the surf. Visionaries build empires on corpses, Lena. He framed me to cover his ass when I found the ledgers. Made me the fall guy for his cabal, the senators, the donors. Hargrove's already flipping, spilling about election hacks. Elena's servers? Mine now, rigged to self-destruct with their dirty laundry. She rose, tentative, arms wrapping around me from behind. Then stop. Turn yourself in. We can fix this. Therapy, reversal tech. For us. Her breath hot on my neck, stirring ghosts. For a moment, I wavered. The old Taylor would have caved, played the hero. But prison forged me in fire. I was tempered steel now, edges honed for carving. I spun, gripping her shoulders, hard enough to bruise. Us? You fucked my best friend while I bled out my life sentence. Laughed at his jokes about my poetic justice. Don't gaslight me with US. Tears welled, but her chin lifted, defiant, the woman I'd loved. I was broken, Taylor. You vanished. Vic was there, piecing me back. It wasn't betrayal, it was survival. Survival. The ultimate American excuse, from Wall Street wolves to trailer park hustlers. I released her, the flickers surging unbidden. Taylor's eyes in Victor's face, pleading. She recoiled, stumbling back. What are you becoming? The monster he made, I said softly. But here's the twist, Lena. I don't want reversal. This body. It's armor. Power. I'll dismantle his world brick by brick, starting with the gala tomorrow. Apex's big reveal, neural implants for the masses. I'll be there, as him, pulling strings till they snap. She left at noon, tires screeching gravel like a farewell. I watched from the deck, phone buzzing with alerts. Marcus calling, frantic voicemails about family secrets. Victor's brother, the black sheep, who'd clawed his way to VP by betraying kin. He knew fragments, the swap rumors, the frame job's loose ends. I ignored him, diving into prep. The gala at the Met, black tie swarm of New York's elite. My stage. Night fell heavy, moon a sickle over the Atlantic. I suited up, Victor's reflection mocking me in the mirror, tall, silver fox handsome, the face of fortune. But inside, Taylor Voss plotted, veins humming with borrowed adrenaline. The drive back to the city was a blur, Hamptons fading in the rear view like a discarded skin. Traffic snarled on the lie, horns blaring the city's pulse. By the Met steps, paparazzi flashed like St. Elmo's fire, butlers ushering me past velvet ropes. Inside, the Temple of Dinder loomed, Egyptian sands under climate control, champagne flutes chiming toasts to innovation. Hargrove was out on bail, schmoozing corners. Elena, too, her glared daggers across the crowd. Marcus cornered me by the obelisk, bourbon breath hot. Vic, what the fuck was last night? Voss, alive? If the press digs. Let them, I murmured, clapping his shoulder. Fraternal, false. I've got a narrative ready. Heroic pardon, redemption arc. But you've been skimming, haven't you? Those came in transfers. His face drained, Adam's apple bobbing. Brother, please. It was for Mom's medical. Lies? I cut in, voice velvet over razor. Mom died clean, before your inheritance schemes. You knew about the frame. Whispered it to Victor over scotch. Family loyalty, my ass. He blanched, sweat beading. How? Ghost talk. I slipped him a USB, doctored footage of his pillow talk with a hooker, spilling Apex beans. Leak this, or I do. Your call. He slunk away, tail between legs, another domino teetering. Then Lena appeared, gown sapphire silk hugging curves I'd memorized. Dance? She asked, hand extended. Wary, but the floor called, waltzing under chandeliers, her body fluid against mine. I came to warn you, she breathed. Feds are circling. Victor's logs, your logs, show anomalies. The swap. My grip tightened. Let them circle. I'm 3 steps ahead. The music swelled, bodies blurring, but her eyes searched mine. Taylor's flicker betraying me. This isn't you. Revenge poisons, Taylor. Victor's already broken. Don't let it break you. A decision loomed, controversial as hell. Expose her complicity? She'd signed NDAs for his trials, buried reports on test subjects' suicides. Accomplice or victim? The line blurred like scotch and soda. One more move, I promised, spinning her out. Then we talk. But as the night peaked, my speech lauding ethical frontiers, screens flickering with subliminal code I'd planted to crash their implants demo, sirens pierced the glamour. Feds in tactical vests, badges gleaming. Not for me. For the cabal. Hargrove tackled mid-toast, Elena zip-tied by the sarcophagus. Chaos reigned, screams mingling with shattering glass. In the melee, Marcus lunged, knife from his cummerbund, wild-eyed. You ruined us, he snarled, blade flashing. I dodged, the flicker surging full, Taylor's reflexes in Victor's frame. We grappled, ancient gods in modern ruin, his fury unhinged. You were always the favorite, he spat. Even in that rat's body. The stab grazed my side, hot bloom of pain. Security swarmed, wrenching him off. Lena screamed my name, Taylor's name, as medics patched me. But the wound was superficial. The Real cut was revelation. Marcus's words, he'd known the swap? No, deeper. As he was dragged out, he laughed, manic. Ask her about the accident, brother. Ask Lena why you were in that lab that night. Her face, pale amid the flashing lights, confirmed it. Betrayal second act. The plot thickened, venomous as nightshade. Blood seeped through the bandage, a crimson asterisk to the night's farce. But pain was an old friend, Riker's gift, where shivs and regrets carved deeper than scalpels. The ambulance wailed through midtown canyons, Lena clutching my hand in the bay, her whispers a litany of apologies. I didn't know, Taylor. Marcus is lying, twisted from the coke. But her eyes darted, pupils dilated not from strobe, but secrets. The feds had the gala locked down, Apex shares tanking like the Hindenburg, Victor's empire a smoking ruin. Yet as sirens dopplered, Marcus's taunt echoed. Why was I in that lab? We hit the ER at Mount Sinai, fluorescent hell buzzing overhead. Docs stitched me up, superficial, they said, prescribing opioids with a wink, American healthcare's dark joke. Lena hovered, fetching ice chips, her gown rumpled like a fallen flag. Talk. I rasped, once alone in the curtained bay. The accident. You lured me there. She deflated, sinking into the visitor chair, hands wringing like dish rags. Not lure. Beg. Victor was spiraling, paranoid about leaks. He thought you were the source, but I suspected him. Told you to meet at the lab. Off books, to confront together. But he knew. Ambushed us both. Ambushed. The word hung, toxic. You played both sides? Fed him intel to protect me. Tears carved tracks through her makeup. I was scared, Taylor. Pregnant, miscarried after your trial. Victor promised help, resources. I signed his papers for the Neural Ethics Board, buried red flags to keep the funding alive. Thought it'd buy time. Pregnant. Our child, ghosted by stress and schemes. Rage boiled, hot as the foredrip. You gambled my life for a ghost. Let him frame me. Fuck you, build his throne on our bones. She reached, but I flinched. The flicker involuntary, Taylor's snarl overlaying Victor's calm. Stop. You're scaring me. Scaring her? The irony curdled. Good. Fears the point. You, Marcus Hargrove, all cogs in his machine. I dismantle it, piece by guilty piece. Nurses bustled past, oblivious to the soul drama unfolding. She stood, resolute. Then let me help. Reverse the swap. I've got contacts at Neuralink knockoffs. End this madness. Madness. The controversial crux. Cling to Victor's power. Wield it like Excalibur against the wicked, or revert to Taylor's shell. Frail, forgotten, justice a pipe dream? Prison had stripped illusions. Power corrupted, sure, but power avenged. No, I said. This ends my way. Tomorrow, the board meeting. Apex's last gasp. She left at shift change, dawn graying the skyline. Her kiss on my forehead, a Judas peck. I checked out AMA, Ubering to Victor's. No, the townhouse on the Upper East Side. Showers scalded away the night's grime, but not the doubt. Marcus's knife had nicked more than flesh. It had pierced the plan's armor. Interrogations would spill, Hargrove's deal-making, Elena's hacks. But the core secret? The swap. If it leaked, I'd be lab rat redux, dissected by suits in white coats. The boardroom loomed at noon, glass walls overlooking the bull run on screens. Suits in Brioni, ties like nooses, faces drawn from the headlines. I entered as Victor, stride imperious, the flicker leashed. Gentlemen, I boomed, settling the head, crisis mode. Shares down 40%, Fed sniffing. We pivot. Murmurs rippled, loyalists, turncoats, all Victor's hand-picked vipers. First agenda, the neural tech. Suspend trials, I decreed. Ethics breach imminent. Gasps echoed. Elena's proxy, a weasel named Klein, objected. But the patents, billions. I fixed him cold. Billions built on bodies. Like Taylor Voss's. The room froze. Klein paled. Sir. I leaned in, voice dropping to graveled whisper. Voss didn't embezzle. You did, Klein. Funneled to your bookie's debts. Victor covered, for a cut. Proof flashed on my tablet. Timestamps, transfers, his mistress's texts begging for hush money. Resign, or join Hargrove in cuffs. He bolted, chair scraping like nails on chalkboard. Next, the cabal's tendrils, lobbyists, PACs. I greenlit leaks. Anonymous drops to ProPublica, detailing bribes for FDA fast tracks. Apex cleans house, I said. Or burns. Dissent brewed. Old guard like Witherspoon, Victor's mentor, pounded the table. You're unhinged, Hale. That dinner stunt, Voss alive? Hallucinations from your accident? The flicker tempted, but I held, rising slow. Hallucinations? Or reckonings? I circled the table, shadows lengthening. Witherspoon, you greenlit the family hits. Voss's sister, your niece by marriage, OD'd on our prototypes. Covered as user error. His jowls quivered. Lies. Logs don't lie. I synced his screen, audio clips, his voice authorizing containment. He slumped, defeated. One by one, they cracked, resignations texted, alibis crumbling. But the real bomb? The door burst, FBI, warrants waving like red flags. Victor Hale, you're under arrest for conspiracy, fraud, and the lead agent's eyes narrowed at me. Soul trafficking? What the hell is this swap bullshit? Panic surged, but I was prepped. Misinformation. I bluffed, hands up. Lab fever dreams. Voss is dead. Check the obits. They cuffed me loose. Protocol. But the van ride to Foley Square was a pressure cooker. Interrogation room. Bare bulb. Two-way mirror. Coffee like motor oil. Agent Ruiz, hard-eyed Latino with a Brooklyn bite, slid photos across. Lab wreckage. My. Victor's. Scans showing anomalous brain waves. Talk, Hale. Witnesses say you flickered at the gala. Like some X-Files shit. And Voss's body? Vanished from custody. You know something. I sipped the sludge, calm as a mill pond. Stress. Migraines. As for Voss. Ghost story. But she leaned in, voice low. We got a tip. From Lena Voss, your fiancée. Says you're not you. Lena. The betrayal's apex, sharp as Marcus's blade. She'd flipped, for immunity? Love? I laughed hollow. She's protecting her ass. Complicit in the trials. Ruiz's eyebrow arched. Maybe, but forensics on your wound. DNA mismatch. Taylor Voss's blood type, not yours. The room spun. Mismatch? The swap's glitch, residual cells, echoes bleeding through. My empire teetered. Decision time. Confess. Unravel the cabal fully, Risk dissection? Or double down? Burn it all? Fine, I said. Truth for truth. But it starts with Victor's safe, in the penthouse. Codes, May 18th, 89. His birthday. They fetched it. Drives, docs, the holy grail of corruption. I spilled selective, frames, hits, the network's veins. Hours blurred, deal struck. By dusk, I walked, cooperating witness, ankle monitors, ironic jewelry. But freedom? I hailed a cab to the bridge, Hudson churning below like fate's dishwasher. Victor's phone buzzed. Lena. Taylor, I had to. They were closing in. Meet me, the cabin. We fix this. The Vermont cabin, our old love nest, now a trap? Controversial choice. Trust the serpent or sever? I went, Glock tucked in Victor's waistband, his own safe's gift. Twilight woods swallowed the drive, leaves rustling omens. She waited on the porch, firelight flickering, shotgun casual in her lap. Taylor, she called, voice cracking. Or Vic, whoever. I stepped out, the flicker full, Taylor's face under moonwash. Both. Neither. Your call. She rose, gun lowering. I sold you out to save us. Reversal tech, smuggled from Apex. One shot, neural jolt. Back to normal. Normal. The word mocked. But as she explained, device humming on the table, wires like veins, I saw the hook. Marcus's escape from holding, en route. He'd cut a deal too, spilling the swap's origin. Feds inbound. Time ticked, relentless. Trust me, she urged. Hand on the trigger. Pain promised, rebirth uncertain. I nodded, controversial mercy. The jolt hit. Fire through synapses, souls wrenching. Blackout. Woke to dawn, body-mind. Taylor's, scarred and spare. Lena slumped, pulse faint. Overdose? No. Her hand, syringe empty. Mercy killing? Or frame? Sirens wailed distant. The twist coiled. She'd rigged it, swapping as permanent, taking Victor's shell for herself. Powers addict. But I ran, woods swallowing me, revenge's embers unquenched. The woods clawed at me like jealous lovers, branches snagging my jacket. Taylor's jacket, threadbare from disuse, as I crashed through underbrush, lungs burning with leaf mold and betrayal's aftertaste. Dawn bled pink through the canopy, birdsong mocking the manhunt closing in. Feds, Victor's ghost in Lena's skin, the unraveling cabal, all converging on this godforsaken cabin like hounds on a fox. I'd trusted her one last time, that controversial Hail Mary of redemption, and she'd flipped the script, the reversal, jolt, and neural bomb, searing Victor's essence into her, leaving me in my old husk, frail, fugitive, but free. Or was it? The pain lingered, echoes of his memories flickering like bad reception. Boardroom conquests, Lena's moans, the lab's sterile hum. We'd merged deeper than swapped. We were amalgam now, two souls in fractured prisms. Sirens Dopplered closer, choppers thumping overhead. I hit the tree lean, Vermont's backroads a maze of dirt veins. Stole a rusted Ford from a bait shop lot. Keys in the visor, quintessentially Yankee trust, hot-wiring it with a paperclip and spite. Engine coughed to life. Tires spitting gravel as I punched south, toward the border or oblivion, whichever came first. Phone dead, but Victor's habits supplied. Burner sims in the glove box. I ditched the main drag for logging trails, mind racing faster than the tatch. Lena, Victor, what a mindfuck. She played the long game, enduring my vendetta to orchestrate the endgame. The syringe? Not OD, but accelerant, boosting the merge, claiming his body as prize. Power siren song, sung in her voice. And the child? Miscarriage my ass. Scans in Victor's files showed termination, therapeutic, per his orders. To keep her pliable. Betrayal's Russian doll, layers peeling to bone. Interstate blurred, billboards hawking freedom, guns, gold, God. I crossed into New York by noon, anonymity in the sprawl. Ditched the Ford in a Jersey junkyard, melting into path trains to the city that birthed the beast. Penn Station's underbelly swallowed me. Hustlers, homeless, heroes in mufti. Found a flop on the Bowery, cash from Victor's emergency stash, buried coordinates in his mental Rolodex. Days bled into fugue. Newspapers chronicling the chaos. Apex implodes. Hail missing. Heir apparent Lena Voss takes helm amid scandal. Heir apparent. She'd lawyered up, spinning the swap as tragic anomaly, positioning as savior. Hargrove suicided in his cell. Staged. My gut screamed. Marcus vanished, probably sipping Mai Tais in Andorra. Witherspoon testified, flipping for leniency, but his confessions sanitized, omitting the hits, pinning it on phantoms. I hold up, plotting from shadows. The controversial pivot. Expose her from the grave, or fade to legend. American mythos favored the latter, Bonnie and Clyde's blaze, not paperwork. But vengeance demanded teeth. Hacked a library terminal, ghosting into dark web forums. Ex-Apex whistleblowers, bitter coders. Dropped payloads, unredacted files, audio of Victor's rants, Lena's emails greenlighting trials. The Queen's as guilty as the King, Ianon posted. Flames spread, Reddit riots, TikTok takedowns, Fox vs. MSNBC cage matches. Nights haunted, dreams of the dinner, faces morphing, Hargrove's leer into Lena's smile, Marcus's knife plunging true. Woke sweating, the flicker now internal. Victor's urges bubbling, a thirst for scotch and supremacy. Was I purging him, or incubating? Therapy? Laughable. Priests peddled absolution. I sought absolution in action. The climax brewed at Apex's rebirth presser, Lena on stage in Victor's old suit, tailored fierce. Cameras swarmed the Javits Center, her speech a masterclass in deflection. Innovation demands sacrifice. Taylor Voss was a casualty. Now, we honor him with transparency. Honor. The gall. I infiltrated as janitor. Uniform swiped from a drunk in Alphabet City. Mop bucket my Trojan horse. Backstage buzzed. Aides, anchors, her glow under Klieg lights. Timing it to Q&A, I wheeled in, cleaning the wings. She spotted me mid-sentence, eyes locking. Taylor's eyes in her face? No, Victor's calculation, laced with my ghost. Security, she barked, but too late. I flipped the bird, mic'd from a hidden lav, Victor's spy tech, memorized. Lena Voss. I boomed, voice amplified citywide. Or should I say Victor Hale? The swap was an accident. It was your coup. Gasps rippled, feeds exploding. Explain the DNA mismatch. I pressed, holding up a vial. Blood from the cabin, swiped pre-jolt. Taylor's type in Victor's veins. And the hits? Your signatures on the orders. Proof cascaded on screens I'd hijacked. Hacked projectors looping files. Her emails, his confessions synced. Chaos erupted. Reporters lunging, guards tackling. She lunged too, heels stabbing linoleum, face twisted, his fury in her frame. We collided in the scrum, her nails raking my cheek. Old lover's scars. You should have stayed buried, she hissed, Victor's timbre from her lips. Power suits me. The flicker surged, mutual now, our faces overlaying in strobe frenzy, a dual exorcism. Feds stormed, tasers crackling, but the damage etched. Live streams viral, empire's facade shattered. Cuffed again, but this time, the twist inverted. Interrogation redux, Ruiz across the table, smirking. Voss. Or Hale. Or both. Your bloodwork's a freak show, chimerism, they call it. Souls don't swap, but cells do. Science is cop-out, but it bought deals. I spilled the saga, full, unvarnished. Cabal mapped, assets seized. Lena. Victor, dissected in a psych ward, her mind fracturing under the merged weight. It's me, she babbled in depositions. Know us. Marcus surfaced in a raid, spilling the lab's genesis. A ritual, not accident. Occult-tinged tech for elite immortality, blood oaths in boardrooms. Months ground by, trials, testimonies, tabloid fodder. I testified as Taylor Voss, the Marine reborn, my true rank, not mogul but survivor. Controversial verdict, Lena walked. Insanity plea, committed indefinite. Victor's essence? Pronounced extinguished, but I felt him, whispers in wind. The cabal crumbled, sentences stacking like Jenga, billions redistributed to victims' funds. My sister's foundation thrived, opioids audited nationwide. Karma's coda, a quiet life in the Keys, fishing off a dock, salt air scouring wounds. Happy ending? Debatable. Power's poison lingered. I tasted it, craved more. Readers argued in comments, hero or villain, justice or jihad. I sipped a beer, waves lapping judgment, knowing the truth. Revenge isn't closure, it's a mirror, cracking under your gaze. One dawn, a letter arrived, Lena's script, Institutional postmark. Taylor/Victor. We're eternal. Come merge again. I burned it, ashes scattering on tide. But in the flicker of flame, I wondered, whose hand held the match? The end, or just intermission?